Hillary Diane Rodham was born on October 26, 1947, the first child of Dorothy and Hugh Rodham. Hillary and her brothers, Hugh and Tony, grew up in Park Ridge, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. After graduating from Wellesley College in 1969, Hillary entered Yale Law School where she met Bill Clinton. In 1974, at the height of the Watergate scandal, Hillary worked on the staff assisting the House Judiciary Committee with its investigation of the Nixon administration. She later joined Bill Clinton in Arkansas, where he was about to embark on a remarkable political career. Bill and Hillary were married in 1975. Hillary served on the faculty of the University of Arkansas Law School before joining the Rose Law Firm in 1976. Bill and Hillary became parents with the birth of their daughter, Chelsea, in 1980. In the meantime, her husband was elected Attorney General and then Governor of Arkansas. During her 12 years as First Lady of Arkansas, Hillary Clinton was a strong advocate for the welfare of children and higher educational standards. She sat on the boards of the Arkansas Children's Hospital and the Children's Defense Fund. When Hillary became the nation's First Lady, she continued to play an active role. In 1993, she chaired the Task Force on Health Care Reform. Although her involvement in shaping public policies drew criticism, she remained a determined advocate for the rights and welfare of children and women throughout the world. In 1997, she co-created the Vital Voices Democracy Initiative with Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, which continues to support women leaders as the Vital Voices Global Partnership. In 2000, Hillary Clinton was elected senator from the state of New York. She was the First Lady to be elected to the United States Senate. Hillary won re-election as New York Senator in 2006. In 2007, Hillary began her campaign for President of the United States. When Barack Obama won the nomination, Hillary supported the Obama/Biden ticket, and they went on to win the presidency. She was nominated by President-elect Obama to the position of Secretary of State, and was sworn in as the 67th Secretary of State of the United States on January 21, 2009. During her 4 years as Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton traveled the world visiting 112 countries to promote American foreign policy. In 2015, Hillary Clinton announced her second campaign for President of the United States. She ran with Virginia Senator and former Governor Tim Kaine as her vice presidential candidate. At the 2016 Democratic National Convention, she became the first woman to accept a major party's nomination for president. While Hillary won the popular vote of the 2016 election, she failed to win the Electoral College and conceded the race to President Donald J. Trump. Since the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton has written several books and continues to be active in progressive causes. On April 12, 2015, Clinton formally announced her candidacy for the presidency in the 2016 election. She had a campaign in waiting already in place, including a large donor network, experienced operatives, and the Ready for Hillary and Priorities USA Action political action committees and other infrastructure. Prior to her campaign, Clinton had claimed in an interview on NDTV in May 2012 that she would not seek the presidency again, but later wrote in her 2014 autobiography Hard Choices that she had not decided. The campaign's headquarters were established in the New York City borough of Brooklyn. Her campaign focused on raising middle-class incomes, establishing universal preschool, making college more affordable, and improving the Affordable Care Act. Initially considered a prohibitive favorite to win the Democratic nomination, Clinton faced an unexpectedly strong challenge from Democratic Socialist Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. His longtime stance against the influence of corporations and the wealthy in American politics resonated with a dissatisfied citizenry troubled by the effects of income inequality in the U.S. and contrasted with Clinton's Wall Street ties. In the initial contest of the primary season, Clinton only very narrowly won the Iowa Democratic caucuses, held February 1, over an increasingly popular Sanders, the first woman to win them. In the first primary, held in New Hampshire on February 9, she lost to Sanders by a wide margin. Sanders was an increasing threat in the next contest, the Nevada caucuses on February 20, but Clinton managed a 5 percentage point win, aided by final days campaigning among casino workers. Clinton followed that with a lopsided victory in the South Carolina primary on February 27. These two victories stabilized her campaign and showed an avoidance of the management turmoil that harmed her 2008 effort. On March 1, Super Tuesday, Clinton won 7 of 11 contests, including a string of dominating victories across the South buoyed, as in South Carolina, by African American voters. She opened up a significant lead in pledged delegates over Sanders. She maintained this delegate lead across subsequent contests during the primary season, with a consistent pattern throughout. Sanders did better among younger, whiter, more rural, and more liberal voters and states that held caucuses or where eligibility was open to independents. Clinton did better among older, Black, and Hispanic voter populations, and in states that held primaries or where eligibility was restricted to registered Democrats. By June 5, 2016, she had earned enough pledged delegates and supportive superdelegates for the media to consider her the presumptive nominee. On June 7, after winning most of the states in the final major round of primaries, Clinton held a victory rally in Brooklyn, becoming the first woman to claim the status of presumptive nominee for a major American political party. By campaign's end, Clinton had won 2,219 pledged delegates to Sanders' 1,832, with an estimated 594 superdelegates compared to Sanders' 47. She received almost 17 million votes during the nominating process, as opposed to Sanders' 13 million. Clinton was formally nominated at the 2016 Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia on July 26, 2016, becoming the first woman to be nominated for president by a major U.S. political party. Her choice of vice presidential running mate, Senator Tim Kaine, was nominated by the convention the following day. Her opponents in the general election included Republican Donald Trump, Libertarian Gary Johnson and Jill Stein of the Green Party. Around the time of the convention, WikiLeaks released emails that suggested the DNC and the Clinton campaign tilted the primary in Clinton's favor. Clinton held a significant lead in national polls over Trump throughout most of 2016. In early July, Trump and Clinton were tied in major polls following the FBI's conclusion of its investigation into her emails. FBI Director James Comey concluded Clinton had been extremely careless in her handling of classified government material. In late July, Trump gained his first lead over Clinton in major polls following a 3 to 4 percentage point convention bounce at the Republican National Convention. This was in line with the average bounce in conventions since 2004, although it was toward the low side by historical standards. Following Clinton's 7 percentage point convention bounce at the Democratic National Convention, she regained a significant lead in national polls at the start of August. In fall 2016, Clinton and Tim Kaine published Stronger Together, which outlined their vision for the United States. Clinton was defeated by Donald Trump in the November 8, 2016, presidential election. By the early morning hours of November 9, Trump had received 279 projected Electoral College votes, with 270 needed to win. Media sources proclaimed him the winner. Clinton then phoned Trump to concede and to congratulate him on his victory, whereupon Trump gave his victory speech. The next morning Clinton made a public concession speech in which she acknowledged the pain of her loss, but called on her supporters to accept Trump as their next president, saying, "We owe him an open mind and a chance to lead." Though Clinton lost the election by capturing only 232 electoral votes to Trump's 306, she won the popular vote by more than 2.8 million votes, or 2.1% of the voter base. She is the fifth presidential candidate in U.S. history to win the popular vote but lose the election. She won the most votes of any candidate who did not take office and the third most votes of any candidate in history, though she did not have the greatest percentage win of a losing candidate. Andrew Jackson won the popular vote by 10.4% but lost to John Quincy Adams. On December 19, 2016, when electors formally voted, Clinton lost 5 of her initial 232 votes due to faithless electors, with 3 of her Washington votes being cast instead for Colin Powell, 1 being cast for Faith Spotted Eagle, and 1 in Hawaii being cast for Bernie Sanders. Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton served as the First Lady of the United States to the 42nd President, Bill Clinton. She went on to become a U.S. Secretary of State and U.S. Senator from New York. In the 2008 election, Clinton was a leading candidate for the Democratic presidential nomination. During the 1992 presidential campaign, Hillary Rodham Clinton observed, "Our lives are a mixture of different roles. Most of us are doing the best we can to find whatever the right balance is. For me, that balance is family, work, and service." Hillary Diane Rodham, Dorothy and Hugh Rodham's first child, was born on October 26, 1947. 2 brothers, Hugh and Tony, soon followed. Hillary's childhood in Park Ridge, Illinois, was happy and disciplined. She loved sports and her church, and was a member of the National Honor Society, and a student leader. Her parents encouraged her to study hard and to pursue any career that interested her. As an undergraduate at Wellesley College, Hillary mixed academic excellence with school government. Speaking at graduation, she said, "The challenge now is to practice politics as the art of making what appears to be impossible, possible." In 1969, Hillary entered Yale Law School, where she served on the board of editors of Yale Law Review and Social Action, interned with children's advocate Marian Wright Edelman, and met Bill Clinton. The president often recalls how they met in the library when she strode up to him and said, "If you're going to keep staring at me, I might as well introduce myself." The two were soon inseparable, partners in moot court, political campaigns, and matters of the heart. After graduation, Hillary advised the Children's Defense Fund in Cambridge and joined the impeachment inquiry staff advising the Judiciary Committee of the House of Representatives. After completing those responsibilities, she followed her heart to Arkansas, where Bill had begun his political career. They married in 1975. She joined the faculty of the University of Arkansas Law School in 1975 and the Rose Law Firm in 1976. In 1978, President Jimmy Carter appointed her to the board of the Legal Services Corporation, and Bill Clinton became governor of Arkansas. Their daughter, Chelsea, was born in 1980. Hillary served as Arkansas's First Lady for 12 years, balancing family, law, and public service. She chaired the Arkansas Educational Standards Committee, co-founded the Arkansas Advocates for Children and Families, and served on the boards of the Arkansas Children's Hospital, Legal Services, and the Children's Defense Fund. As the nation's First Lady, Hillary continued to balance public service with private life. Her active role began in 1993 when the president asked her to chair the Task Force on National Health Care Reform. She continued to be a leading advocate for expanding health insurance coverage, ensuring children are properly immunized, and raising public awareness of health issues. She wrote a weekly newspaper column entitled Talking It Over, which focused on her experiences as First Lady and her observations of women, children, and families she has met around the world. Her 1996 book It Takes a Village and Other Lessons Children Teach Us was a bestseller, and she received a Grammy Award for her recording of it. As First Lady, her public involvement with many activities sometimes led to controversy. Undeterred by critics, Hillary won many admirers for her staunch support for women around the world and her commitment to children's issues. Hillary Clinton was elected United States Senator from New York on November 7, 2000. She is the first First Lady elected to the United States Senate and the first woman elected statewide in New York. Hillary Clinton served as U.S. Secretary of State from 2009 to 2013. Clinton maintained a low profile in the months following her defeat in the 2016 presidential election. She frequently engaged in nature walks in Chappaqua, with various sightings of Clinton circulating on social media. On January 20, 2017, she attended the inauguration of Donald Trump. On her decision to attend, Clinton stated, "I'm here today to honor our democracy and its enduring values. I will never stop believing in our country and its future." Clinton also began work on a book of personal essays, in which she would reflect on her defeat in the election. The book, What Happened, was released on September 12, 2017, alongside a picture book adaptation of It Takes a Village. Clinton delivered a St. Patrick's Day speech in Scranton, Pennsylvania, on March 17, 2017. In it, alluding to reports that she had been seen taking walks in the woods around Chappaqua following her loss in the presidential election, Clinton indicated her readiness to emerge from the woods and become politically active again. However, the following month she confirmed she would not seek public office again. She reiterated her comments in March 2019 and stated she would not run for president in 2020. In May 2017, Clinton announced the formation of Onward Together, a new political action committee that she wrote is dedicated to advancing the progressive vision that earned nearly 66 million votes in the last election. Clinton has also made occasional comments on political issues in the time since losing her presidential campaign and authored several op-eds. On April 28, 2020, Clinton endorsed the presumptive Democratic nominee, former Vice President Joe Biden, for president in the 2020 election, and she addressed the 2020 Democratic National Convention in August. On July 21, 2024, Clinton endorsed Kamala Harris for president in the 2024 election. On August 19, 2024, Clinton spoke at the 2024 Democratic National Convention. In her speech, she referenced the 34 felony convictions of Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, prompting chants of "lock him up" from the crowd in an ironic reference to Trump's own chants of "lock her up," in reference to Clinton's email scandal during his 2016 campaign. Since the election, Clinton has released several books. Clinton and her daughter Chelsea co-authored 2019's The Book of Gutsy Women and 2020's Grandma's Gardens. On October 12, 2021, Clinton co-authored the fiction novel State of Terror with Louise Penny. Clinton is set to release another memoir, Something Lost, Something Gained, on September 17, 2024. Clinton has also been involved in a number of media ventures. Clinton collaborated with director Nanette Burstein on the documentary film Hillary, which was released on Hulu in March 2020. On September 29, 2020, Clinton launched an interview podcast in collaboration with iHeartRadio titled You and Me Both. She has also produced television series, so far being a producer on the Apple TV Plus series Gutsy and the upcoming The CW adaptation of The Woman's Hour. On January 2, 2020, it was announced that Clinton would take up the position of Chancellor at Queen's University Belfast. Clinton became the 11th and first female Chancellor of the university, filling the position that had been vacant since 2018 after the death of her predecessor, Thomas J. Moran. In January 2023, Columbia University announced that Clinton would join the university as Professor of Practice at the School of International and Public Affairs and as a Presidential Fellow at Columbia World Projects. Using her Senate votes, several organizations have attempted to measure Clinton's place on the political spectrum scientifically. National Journal's 2004 study of roll call votes assigned Clinton a rating of 30 on the political spectrum, relative to the Senate at the time, with a rating of 1 being most liberal and 100 being most conservative. National Journal's subsequent rankings placed her as the 32nd most liberal senator in 2006 and 16th most liberal senator in 2007. A 2004 analysis by political scientists Joshua D. Clinton of Princeton University and Simon Jackman and Doug Rivers of Stanford University found her likely to be the 6th to 8th most liberal senator. The Almanac of American Politics, edited by Michael Barone and Richard E. Cohen, rated her votes from 2003 through 2006 as liberal on economics, social issues, and foreign policy. According to 538's measure of political ideology, Clinton was one of the most liberal members during her time in the Senate. Organizations have also attempted to provide more recent assessments of Clinton after she re-entered elective politics in 2015. Based on her stated positions from the 1990s to the present, on the issues places her in the left liberal region on their two-dimensional grid of social and economic ideologies, with a social score of 80 on a scale of 0 more restrictive to 100 less government stances, with an economic score of 10 on a scale of 0 more restrictive to 100 less government stances. CrowdPack, which does a data aggregation of campaign contributions, votes, and speeches, gives her a 6.5L rating on a one-dimensional left-right scale from 10L, most liberal, to 10C, most conservative. Clinton has been a lifelong Methodist, and has been part of United Methodist Church congregations throughout her life. She has publicly discussed her Christian faith on several occasions, although seldom while campaigning. Over 100 books and scholarly works have been written about Clinton. A 2006 survey by the New York Observer found a virtual cottage industry of anti-Clinton literature put out by Regnery Publishing and other conservative imprints. Some titles include Madam Hillary, The Dark Road to the White House, Hillary's Scheme, Inside the Next Clinton's Ruthless Agenda to Take the White House and Can She Be Stopped, Hillary Clinton Will Be the Next President of the United States Unless. Books praising Clinton did not sell nearly as well, other than her memoirs and those of her husband. When she ran for Senate in 2000, several fundraising groups such as Save Our Senate and the Emergency Committee to Stop Hillary Rodham Clinton sprang up to oppose her. Don Van Natta found that Republican and conservative groups viewed her as a reliable bogeyman to mention in fundraising letters, on a par with Ted Kennedy, and the equivalent of Democratic and liberal appeals mentioning Newt Gingrich. Clinton has also been featured in the media and popular culture in a wide spectrum of perspectives. In 1995, writer Todd S. Purdom of the New York Times characterized Clinton as a Rorschach test, an assessment echoed at the time by feminist writer and activist Betty Friedan, who said, "Coverage of Hillary Clinton is a massive Rorschach test of the evolution of women in our society." She has been the subject of many satirical impressions on Saturday Night Live, beginning with her time as the First Lady. She has made guest appearances on the show herself, in 2008 and in 2015, to face off with her doppelgangers. She has often been described in the popular media as a polarizing figure, though some argue otherwise. In the early stages of her 2008 presidential campaign, a Time magazine cover showed a large picture of her with two checkboxes labeled Love Her, Hate Her. Mother Jones titled its profile of her Harpy, Hero, Heretic, Hillary. Following Clinton's choked-up moment and related incidents in the run-up to the January 2008 New Hampshire primary, both the New York Times and Newsweek found that discussion of gender's role in the campaign had moved into the national political discourse. Newsweek editor John Meacham summed up the relationship between Clinton and the American public by saying the New Hampshire events brought an odd truth to light. Though Hillary Rodham Clinton has been on the periphery or in the middle of national life for decades, she is one of the most recognizable but least understood figures in American politics. Once she became Secretary of State, Clinton's image seemed to improve dramatically among the American public and become one of a respected world figure. Her favorability ratings dropped, however, after she left office and began to be viewed in the context of partisan politics once more. By September 2015, with her 2016 presidential campaign underway and beset by continued reports regarding her private email usage at the State Department, her ratings had slumped to some of her lowest levels ever. In March 2016, she acknowledged that, "I'm not a natural politician, in case you haven't noticed." Thank you for watching this video.